What's up, my dude?
What's going on,
How you doing, man?
You know, another day, another dollar.
another
dollar spent, man. I don't know how this goes, but you know, things cost money out here.
They do. But I'm feeling like money in this shirt.
You should.
This shirt's
MMM.
yeah.
Marcus. Money McGhee? No, I'm just
big
Marcus
money
Maniac
McGhee.
McGhee.
Dude, this is a nice shirt.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it.
No wonder why you strutting your stuff in this. This shirt makes me feel good.
Yeah, Chad hooked it up, man. Chad hooked it up.
Chad and his stuff, man.
I'm telling you, man. He's killing it. Mental Joe Apparel. So.
Oh, man. That new one that came out, the one with the bison, the buffalo.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. I'm probably going to have to snag that one up. That's my favorite animal. So,
100%.
Yeah, these are quality. This is nice, man. It fits in all the right places. Hides the
fufa? The fufa?
Yeah, the fupa, man. I got that pouch going on right here.
Yeah,
but it's okay. We're fixing that.
100%.
Shout out to Rob on that one. Thanks, big dog.
Yeah, Rob's about to come and see all this collaboration.
Man.
I love it, man.
I'm about to be a different man.
Man, just helping men. That's what I'm talking about, right? It's a beautiful world out here. It is. Talking about that, I'm going to be bringing on one of my training partners, Abdul Kamara, today. We've been training for about 3 years together. He moved down from Oregon, originally from Africa, so I'll let him tell his story about on that part. But, you know, his travels over here and how he got here and how life's going for him as well. And,
that's going to be good.
Yeah, been a training partner, great man, great guy. Let's go ahead and bring him in. Abdul Kamara.
I'm doing well, man.
What's up?
Good. All right, man. Get your spinning. Got to get your buy-in.
Buy in.
Uh-oh.
10 push-ups, that's easy work. Or squats. He could use the extra squats today, huh?
Yeah, for sure.
If he gets arm wrestle, he's arm wrestling you.
Oh my God.
High five.
Get that done early.
I'll take that.
I was like, man, this is the danger corner.
I'm telling you, that's weird. Maybe it's because it got spun over. Is it? Do you have this thing rigged?
No.
Is this thing, it's rigged.
It might
people.
be.
It's rigged.
It might be.
If you keep on landing on get smacked by one of these guys, and it's definitely. Oh wait, that's not up there anymore.
No. Yeah, we took that one off. We took that one off out of discrepancy. Yeah. Bro hug now. We're showing nothing but love.
We said it in the last one too. No one's actually got smacked, even though people have landed on him multiple times. Not one person got smacked.
I'm sure you got smacked by Marcus a few times. You said his training partner, right?
Quite a few times.
We smacked each other.
Yeah. So he said training partner. Are you guys so is it like same division or not division, weight class, right? So you guys like that intertwined, or what's the relationship here?
Yeah, we pretty much train in the same weight class, same division. So
all right.
Yeah, we train with each other a lot, man.
All right.
And then even as a training partner too, we we're all training partners, even different weight classes. Like Jared Cannonier is the 85er, Eric Anders is 85er, Alec is a 205er. But we'll train with those guys sometimes too. Obviously, they're not blasting us. But as a training partner, just means like it's our team name. It's like our team. Like we all get on the mats at the same time together. And
I gotcha. Is it I guess like more structured to be able to like be more helpful if you're in the same weight class though? Like if you guys are like, you know, like same body style or like same type of like speed and everything like that. Is that kind of like geared towards that way too at all?
Yeah, I feel like when we train with the same body frame, you kind of get the closest realistic feel.
I got you.
Speed,
yeah, and
all that. So when you train with like the bigger guys, obviously you gotta watch for the power. So you gotta be more cautious of like defensive aspect of things.
I gotcha.
Yeah,
man, that's cool. I like that.
And it has to be done that way too, because like, especially with the bigger classes too, like we need to feel the difference in that power sometimes too. Cause like maybe guys we're going to fight are going to be a little bit more powerful, but then again, we need to feel the speed and agility and agileness of some of the smaller guys. I love training with the 25ers and even some of the females a lot of times too. So we all train together constantly. It's like, it's just train together as much as we can. Obviously not try to kill each other.
Yeah.
If Jared Cannonier decides to kick me in the head, it's over.
It's
This is how it's gonna be, you know. Like
I remember the one time I was sparring him, and it was like the first time I ever sparred him. We were just flowing, and then I hit him hard, and he stopped, paused, and he looked at me, and he was like, "Remember, you're 100%, and my 100% are not the same." I stopped after that, and I began touching him. I was like, okay.
That's a thug. That is a thug line.
He just looks at me and he was like, remember, our percentage are not the
Oh.
same. So if I hit you 100%, you're probably dead.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
That- okay.
Sleeping on the floor.
Yeah.
Yo.
I'm gonna write that one. That one's now in a book. That if I'm ever feeling some type of way,
Yeah.
and it's a phrase I probably should never say, but if I'm like beating on my chest, my 100% and
it's
your
not the
100%
same. Ain't the
are
same.
different.
There's levels.
So
Our
it's like-
levels to
it's like you
this.
say it to a child and everything. Like talking to a child, like
Say it to my nephew. Act up again,
I
boy.
will beat all you and your 14-year-old friends up. Like what? There's 10 of us. You can all get it. No,
Yeah,
I'm just
all of
joking.
you.
Yeah. That's
No, that's
crazy.
brilliant. That is that's good, man.
Heck yeah.
So you said you originally from Africa,
Yes.
then from Oregon. So
Yes.
can we start on that?
All right,
Number
so-
one. I mean, are you first generation?
I
here
was
in the States?
actually born in Africa.
Wow.
I spent about 8 years there. And when I was 8.5, my uncle was already in America going to college. He came alone. So he was chasing his dream alone. And after he got done with college, he was pretty much able to file for us to receive like it's like a Powerball,
Right.
except to come to America.
It's the lottery, yeah.
So our family, we got picked, right? So, and we had to go through the whole immigration process of like pretty much answering questions and all that stuff, and then fly to America. But we literally flew 5 days before the 9/11 attack, and I don't know if you guys recall all the flights after that incident.
We're cut.
It got canceled.
Yep.
So all those people that were scheduled to come to America after that day, they're still in Africa up to this day right
No
now.
way.
So for me, yeah, that's why I feel like everything in America or everything that I've been presented is an opportunity to me. Like that's how I take all these MMA fights. It's an opportunity because I could have been in Africa right now with no possibility of a dream at all. It would have just been, okay, how am I gonna live today? How am I gonna get through the next day? At least over here, I'm able to chase a dream. I have a family, so it's crazy, man. It's crazy.
I have chills.
Yeah.
5 days before.
Yeah, 5 days before that, and then
So if you don't mind me asking, how old are you? How old were you at that time?
I was 8.5, and then I turned 9 in America. So I was in San Jose, California for about 2 or 3 years, just because my mom, she was taking care of 3 boys
Yeah.
all alone, just because my dad was never in the picture.
Okay.
Like I don't even know my dad, so he was never in the picture. And being in California, it's very expensive.
Yep.
So my mom couldn't afford to take care of all of us in California, so we had to make a decision to move over to Washington. And when I was 14, I moved over to Washington, and then that's when I began to grow in sports and everything. But I ran track all my life, so I never really crossed over to Portland, because I crossed over to Portland as soon as I started MMA, which was probably at the age of 24. So I started the sport late too.
Okay. So
Yeah.
how did you get introduced to the sport? What was kind of like the path to that?
It was quite interesting because my little brother was actually an amateur fighter at the time.
Oh, nice.
And he did wrestling. He plays 4th at state.
Nice.
So he was already fighting, and he was 5-0 at this time. And he was actually like pretty good. But I had a party at my apartment, and I told him he can't drink. Just because I don't drink alcohol. I've never tried alcohol in my life up to
Wow.
this day.
Good for you,
Still
man.
haven't drank alcohol. Except I know how he gets when he drinks. You don't know what emotion you're gonna get. You might get aggressive, you might get calm, you might get sleepy, you might get a person that wanna fight everybody. So I told him he can't drink at my house. So when he came to my house, he tried to fight me. And then he threw a swing at me, and I slipped it, and I dropped him. Then I just dropped him with the hook. And then I told him, anything you can do, I can do better as the big brother.
Man.
And then I joined the gym 2 weeks after that.
Wow.
And I trained for 2 weeks and I had my first fight. And pretty much that first year, I was 8-0. And that's how I really figured that I might have a possibility in the sport. So I just stuck to it. Yeah, so that's how MMA started, pretty much. Yeah.
My mind is blown.
Yeah, it's
My
crazy.
mind is blown. You slipped.
Like, literally
you
2
slipped the hook
weeks.
from your brother.
Yeah, yeah. He was trying to sleep me.
And you're almost like looking like yourself, like sure. You're like, whoop, bam.
Yeah, I literally dropped him, and I was
Yeah.
like, anything you can do, I can do better. And I'm a person that when I say I'm gonna do something, I'm gonna do something. I'll put everything if I have to into that and accomplish that. So
You said like, your older brother, or you were the older brother?
no. So I have two. I have an oldest and I have a younger brother. Yeah, and this incident happened with the younger brother
Gotcha.
because he parties a little bit, so he's a little bit more of the let's turn up type. So I literally I told him, anything you can do, I can do better. I joined the gym. I've never fought in my life before. Outside of the cage, I've never fought in my life up to this day. I still haven't been in no street fights or anything like that.
That's crazy.
Wildly impressed.
That's crazy how different life is, right?
Yeah.
Like we're both MMA fighters. We both happen to get in MMA. I can't tell you how many street fights I've been in.
I can't even count them.
I can't even count how many street fights I've been in. How many altercations I've gotten, how much. I can't even count it, bro. And the difference is, we're both at the highest level,
yes.
at high level at MMA. And he's like, man, no, I never socked
never
anybody
raised my
in the
fist.
face just because we're from different neighborhoods.
Yeah.
I mean, we're talking like I'm even thinking. So one, I'm wildly impressed from his background, his motivate. So we're gonna get back to that, by the way. Your motivation, day to day, where that comes from.
Yeah.
Two, I've been on a lot of fights as well. One with my brother, well, many with my brother, I should say. Who my younger brother is wildly bigger than me now. But growing up, I used to beat this boy's ass all the time. And even to the fact where he's like, he grew up beating other people's asses.
Yeah.
He's like, one day I'm going to catch this dude. And boy, did he catch me. He
Dang.
me up. I mean, we're talking like my nose was busted open, my eyes were swollen. So much my sister had a wedding 5 weeks after our fight. I still had black eyes.
Dang.
This is how much this dude beat me up. You know what I'm saying? Like, and that was the last fight I ever got in. You know what I'm saying? Because I was
But
like,
he
it
taught
takes
you a
one. But I'm just saying,
valuable lesson, though.
But you, like, I should have slipped, and I didn't slip. I went right into it. You know, but no, I mean, even more. So like different backgrounds, right?
Yeah.
Like you've had a whole different scenario, a whole different situation I can't even fathom, where your first, not even double-digit days in this country, and we are in.
Yeah.
That was, it's still, on the hierarchy of what a tragic, or
100%.
what the tragedies, and that is your first dip into this country.
5 days into it, right?
And 9/11
Yeah,
happened.
it was crazy. It was crazy too
That is
because
wild.
when I first came, it was like I seen my cousin crying, and I didn't understand why they were crying. Just because, shit, TV is new to me. Everything is like
That's
new
so
to me.
crazy.
Even driving on the highway from the airport to the house was like freaking amazing, bro. Like all the street lights and the car lights. We don't see that in Africa. Like our roads are not pavement. It's dirt road, and there's no street lights. So like when we were driving from the airport to the house, it was crazy, man. It's like everything was so beautiful. And then when we got to the house, the whole like 9/11 thing happened, and then everybody was emotional, and I just didn't know what to think because I didn't even understand what was
Exactly what
happening.
happened, right.
I didn't really understand what was going on. So yeah, it was big. And then a few months later, I understood, and I was like, oh shit.
Yeah.
Like, that's big. That's big.
So do you remember a lot of like how it was living in Africa, like how life was before that? Because I don't really remember much before 8 years old. Honestly, it's all blurs, pieces,
Yeah, I mean, I remember we were not poor, but we were like in between.
It's like middle class
Yeah,
here.
we were like middle class there. So we had a house, But in Africa, it's called a compound. So it's like apartments inside one building. Like say it's like one house right there, one house right there, one house right there. So we lived in that house for like 5-6 years, and we experienced a lot of things. Like we experienced like the Muslims when they have to Ramadan and
do their prayers.
cut the goats. I seen people slaughter goats.
That's wild.
Yeah, and I remember this one time I was coming home from school, and there was like trucks, and there were like people in those trucks with guns, like just patrolling, like literally, kind of like some you would see on TV or see in the movies, but it was like real life.
That's
like
wild.
they would shoot and bomb things like for no reason, and it didn't help. It didn't help our kids because my mom's mom was a police officer in Africa.
Okay. Yeah.
So now you got people who see her as a target.
I
So
gotcha.
our house became an automatic target. So doing those big situations, our house would be a target. So it got to a point where we would have to fly to another country in order to escape all that. for
Have you
just
been
a
back?
moment. I have not. I have not, and I've been in America for almost 23 years now.
Okay.
So I got 2 kids now, and
Oh,
the flights
congratulations.
are too expensive. So I'm trying to wait until I get into the UFC, start making some pretty good cash, and I want to take them back to see like where I came from and why I work the way I do right now.
Yeah.
Because I feel like everything in America is an opportunity, and I can't take that for granted. Because in Africa, there's no opportunity. So it's like for me, everything here is just an opportunity.
That's beautiful, man.
Opportunity,
I love
man,
hearing
yeah.
that. So the transition from Washington to Arizona, can you walk us through that one? Like, what was the motive or the incentive behind that, or
Man,
what was going on?
Oh man, so I used to work the crazy hours like Marcus, like 50, 60 hours a week. So in Oregon, I had a job that was paying me pretty well. So my main focus was really to be a provider for my family. So I went through all my amateur career and a little bit of my pro career. I didn't really train. I worked a lot. I probably had like 2 days in the gym, and I just fought. I always fight. I don't really care who I fight. I care about the experience. As an amateur, I just cared about the experience. So I fought a lot. And then on my job, COVID hit. And then I spent 10 years there, but I was still too low on the seniority list. So I lost my job.
Oof.
And after that happened, I don't know what else to do. Like, that's my job I got straight out of high school. So that was my first job. I was already getting paid good. Like, I had a house and all this stuff. Like, I was okay. But then COVID hit. I lost my job. I was 2-0 as a pro at that time. And my manager came up to me and he was like, "Hey, do you want this fight on 2 days short notice?" And he knew I was in it. Like, I wasn't training the way I need to be training to take fights on 2 days. So I took the fight, and I told myself before that, I'm gonna keep doing whatever I'm doing until I get that first loss. And soon enough, I took that first loss, and I had to make a big decision. I sold my house, and I told my family that, hey, now I gotta start taking this seriously. So we sold the house, we packed up our stuff, we drove 20 hours, and here we are.
So why Arizona? What was the deciding factor to come here?
Well, I had 3 choices: either Arizona, or Albuquerque, New Mexico, or Team Alpha Male in California.
Oh, okay.
And California was too expensive.
Yep.
I don't know nobody in New Mexico. There's nothing for me to do out there.
Yeah.
So Arizona was like in between everything.
Sure.
It's in between Vegas, 4 hours to Vegas, 4 hours to California. And well, at that time, I don't think it was that expensive. So it was still okay. So we decided to come here. And I went online and I was like, best MMA gym in Arizona. That's literally how I found the lab, bro. Like, I clicked it. I seen John Crouch's email. I copied and pasted, emailed him, bro. I'll be taking a trip up there like next month. Do you think I can come and check out the gym? And yeah, he said, yeah, come on in. And then I take a 2-week trip, train here for a little bit. I was like, yep, sold. And I'm here.
All right,
ever
man.
since the story has been written.
Yeah,
Man.
the story has been written ever since. Because ever since I came here, it's been crazy. Because like I've changed a lot as a person and as a fighter. Because like I've been held to accountability. A lot of things that's gonna help me in my like real life, like being patient, being more aware, man. Like the way I train like I was in Africa. Like I'm fighting for something. I always got something to like fight for. So I'm always going hard. But then in MMA, you kind of have to like find that balance to know like when to go hard and when to like slow it down to learn more technique and pretty much to be more aware.
Be efficient too,
yeah,
right?
and be efficient. And the one person that taught me that, how to be more aware and be more aware of my training partners is Marcus. Because I was training with him one day and I had forgotten we had sparred and we had a little incident with his
He broke my nose with an elbow, with these freaking soccer pad elbow pads, bro. Broke my nose, bro.
So I
and
broke
I was
his
chill,
nose.
finished all the rounds, right?
Yeah.
Didn't say anything.
Yeah, he
I
didn't
let
say
him finish
anything.
it.
Like he didn't say anything. So I wasn't even. I was not even aware. His nose was broken. And then 2 weeks later, I see him in jiu-jitsu class. And you know me, I come to practice, I'm like zoned in. I'm tunnel vision. Like it's me and whatever I'm doing. I don't have no distraction. I see him in class and then we go through class and then it's time for us to roll. I take his back and then I was trying to take the choke in. I was trying to get like the rear naked choke and say he was doing a pretty good job defending. So I thought I can try, cross facing.
Oh my
Cross face, which is good technique, people. If you're trying to get the rear naked choke, cross face to the nose.
Bro,
it's good.
Bro,
This dude's trashing
bro,
your
But
face.
as I'm freaking he's the one that broke my nose. He's cross facing my.
I totally forgot, bro.
No way.
I had totally forgotten that had happened. So when I was trying to get the choke, bro, my heart dropped when I finally seen Marcus mad. You never see Marcus mad. Like he got up. Bro, I was like, this motherfucker's gonna knock me out. My heart dropped,
It
man.
did take a lot out of me because I was like, bro, okay, this is what we're doing.
Yeah.
I was like, bet.
All
I
right.
understand the
All right.
energy.
Yeah.
No, exactly like that. You know how he just said that? It was like, all right, so I'm gonna give you the same energy you give me. And he was cool about it.
Yeah.
And then I went out to the bathroom and I was like, nah, I need to go apologize. I come back to him. I was like, hey, bro, I'm sorry, man. I'll take that into consideration. And ever since then, I've been trying to be a little bit more aware of my training partners and taking care of them.
Yeah, and that awareness not only helps take care of your partners, but it helps you be better because it's one thing to be able to go hard. That's great. It's great to be tough, right? But what happens in the moments where the toughness is not there, right?
not there.
Like it's cool. You can be as tough as you want till you're getting choked to sleep.
Yep.
It's about it's about humbling yourself and putting yourself in positions to get better, positions that are not comfortable with you, you know, that you're not comfortable with, so that you're constantly evolving and growing. Because if you're just constantly trying to be the one on top, constantly trying to be the one to go hard, you're never going to be the person that's actually in bad positions. And then when you're in that fight, when you're getting put in that triangle choke, or you're getting put in that arm bar, and you haven't been there because you've been freaking going hard every single day, you know, and only getting into the positions that you want to be in, right? It becomes an issue, right? Because you haven't trained those under stress. So that awareness just helps all the way over. And then I like what you were saying before, in life, right? Being aware, like we were talking about on another podcast, the people that are driving around us sometimes, that are driving like maniacs, like, what are they going through? How is their day going? I'm aware, instead of like, bro, I'm gonna drive this person off the road right now.
I'm gonna flip him off too,
bro. I'm gonna flip him off too, bro. He's like, what, did he just pull something out of me? Like, you know, it's like getting this, like being aware of the things that are happening around us, so that they can better aid us, right?
I agree.
So I think that was one of the biggest things in that situation. And again, it helped me with my awareness too. Even again, to be able to know that I could do that I could calmly be like, all right, I'm gonna say what I need to say. I'm gonna bring that energy that I need to bring, and then I'm gonna walk away from the situation, because I wasn't always that person, you know. I wasn't always the person, and it would have been super disrespectful, not only to Abdul but to John, if I would have got up in the middle of jiu-jitsu practice for whatever reason, whether my nose is messed up, whatever, and then start scrapping,
popping off, and then it's distraction to the rest of the team. It's a whole thing.
Absolutely. It's like, what does that look like, right? It's like being able to control myself, and then also later on when he does come to me, being able to be in a mentality where I'm still accepting, open-hearted, and we can talk about whatever happened, and come to an agreement, an arrangement of, like, you know, like we could fill that out, like, oh bro, like, oh, you really didn't notice that, hey, you know. So it's like all those things have helped me in my life too, you know. And going through that situation, I learned and he learned in that situation.
I'm looking at it like on a big level too, having, you know, Stikey in here, kind of hearing the background from each one of you, what you talk about in the atmosphere of that gym, what's truly happening there. We're talking about application, how you apply things on what you learn. Sounds like, I mean, I've never even seen the building from what every single one of you, from even the after party, everyone else, what they're saying about this gym or what's happening in there. Happened to me with college baseball. I had one particular coach that was developing young men. He was instilling, you know, qualities, morals, purpose, different things to make us be a better man. We were able to take that and apply it to the game. Yeah. Sounds like what is going on inside your gym is not just, like, you know, obviously you're learning the skills, you're developing, you know, the techniques, and as I call it, you're a registered assassin. But you're also, you're also developing these other skills. Yeah. It's making you mentally, emotionally, physically more tough, but not so much in the cage, but you're becoming a different type of man, a different type of breed. You're having second thoughts, you're controlling your emotion, harnessing your aggression, you're putting more emphasis on more structure in life. It's coming from this gym, but it's coming from you guys as partners. So it's like, honestly, it sounds like legitimately there's a reason why the lab is such a profound gym. You know what I'm saying? There's so much that's coming out of you guys that seriously impresses me the most. We were talking about it with Coach Stikey about what he's done in his Paragon, right? He's doing it in multiple different levels, and he's developing you inside. And from what you're saying to him, what he's saying to you, what you've learned from him, what he's learning from you, you probably pissed him off and you've done this, you've done that, but Marcus thought about it on a different level as well. So have you. This is honestly probably just going down the rabbit hole on this part of what you guys have learned, what you're developing is honestly radiating, and it's very, very impressive.
Yeah, and I also feel like it also allows us to be a little bit more vulnerable.
Sure.
Because like training at the lab, you create family, and especially with that incident with them, and the fact that I was able to come and open up to him, because I don't talk to nobody just because of my whole stuttering. I don't like to talk to people. I don't like to confront people. So when I came up to him, like I had his respect. And then at that point, when he talked back and he told me how he felt and then gave me some advice, I was like, okay, I can take him as my big bro now because he's teaching me things in life that I'm gonna need to have. And from that day, he's been like this to me, man. I always look up to him, always ask him questions. I have a person to come and talk to. I got Marcus, I got Jared Cannonier. These are people I feel like even if I don't have anybody, I can go to them and talk to them. And they could be able to understand me because they listen a lot more than they talk. So to me, that's big because I don't have too many people in my life because I don't have a dad. My mom is obviously, she works 2 jobs. She's busy. I'm not close with my brothers. So it's like when I have to go through hard times, I'm usually by myself, and I use MMA to help me. It's like a therapy for me. Like people always ask me, well, do you like fighting? I was like, at first I didn't. It was just helping me. And then I got pretty good at it and I just stuck to it. And now I'm like, okay, now I can make some cash of it. And it can help me feel good to where I can actually release the anger in a positive outlet instead of going out there and causing trouble and then getting put in jail. And what was the whole point of me coming to America now? The opportunity. By causing trouble, it puts me away. So I try to be, just like I said, I just try to be more aware now.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
And I believe that. I'm sorry. I was going to say the developmental family is one thing that truthfully is very undervalued, very underrated, is the new brotherhood. The new brothers, the developmental family that you grew yourself. You know, because yes, they've been there. Marcus is one of those men, like if you get inside, you get in touch, he will give you the best of him.
Facts.
But you, like you said, you have to be vulnerable enough. You have to recognize the situation that you are going to input the same that Marcus will give you. You develop that as well. So just as much as you're like, I'm not close with them, my brother's non-existent, my brother, or like, you know, all those situations. And like you said, your stutter. I got one too, man. And probably I'm the worst critic on this thing because I stutter so much on this show.
Oh, really?
So much, man. It like, I'm like tongue-tied.
I'm actually impressed right now because I'm actually touching quite
Taking me
smooth
years.
right now. Go ahead, though.
No, but it's taken me years. And trust me, probably the biggest one is I can't lie. My fiance knows if I'm stuttering, she's like, got you. You know? But going back to it, like developing your own family, developing the people you can trust, the people you can rely on, that side of you're able to actually be yourself is a massive thing. And I'd like, honestly, my heart is completely full. I'm so glad that you have that here, and that from what you came from to where you are now, to have that stuff that you can lean on, rely on, and become a better man. I'm genuinely
character,
happy.
Right? The character that you built, bro. Like it's just being. You already had a lot of great aspects that go into men, right? But being around other men that can impact you, and that you can be vulnerable with, that you could talk to, that you can get their perspective, and then be open-minded to those things constantly. Be a what does Randy say? Be a blank page. You know what I'm saying? Like it's like you have information, and it's not that you don't know anything, but it's always good to be able to accept whatever information is coming in, analyze that information and what's going to be work best for you and how you can change your life with that, and then discard the things that you can't, you know. But all information is good information, and I think it's helped with like attitude. We can't always be that tough macho guy outside here. That doesn't work. Doesn't work in business. Doesn't work in so many different things, right? I put myself in so many bad situations based off me not being able to handle my emotions, you know, and then reacting. For instance, like even the way that we show up to the fights, right? Going back to our Georgia fight, right? And so I went out and cornered this man in Georgia, right? I was supposed to take the fight, but I got hurt by Suge. Suge messed my ribs up. Man. I got my ribs were pretty beat up. So I was supposed to take the fight. I took the fight, and then 2 days later I ended up getting injured. So it was like, it kind of sucked. But Abdul was already ready for a fight too. So they called Abdul, and he took the fight, right? And he came to me, he's like, hey, Marcus, I want you to go with me. And me being who I am, like, bro, I declined the fight. No, I'm not going with you, bro. Like, I don't want to go. Yeah. I was supposed to be fighting, and now I'm going to show with you, you know? And he's just like, bro, what do you mean? I did that on
purpose, too.
Yeah, for sure. And he's like, what do you mean? Da-da-da. Come with me, bro. And I was like, all right, bet, bro. I got you, bro. I'm going to go. I'm gonna get over my ego and the feelings that I feel that, like, oh, okay, I should be here to fight. If I could show up, I could fight. I'm gonna get all over there, and I'm gonna be there for my teammate who needs me to be there for him, and who I know and who I have camaraderie with. We worked together too when I was at Bloom. When he first got out here, he came and worked at Bloom. We developed a relationship there too. Like you know, we've developed a relationship over time. So even though I was like, no, I decided to do it, right? But mind you, so we get down there, right? We're doing our thing. And we get to the fights finally, and we're in the locker room and everything, getting warmed up, and we finally get to meet Jorge Masvidal, right? And this is right before his fight, right? And this is all leading back to being able to control your emotions. Right before he's getting wrapped up, here Jorge Masvidal comes in, and what does he say to you?
Man, he comes up to me. Yeah, and mind me, like, I'm super excited just because this is like the first like big star. I'm like seeing over here. So he comes up to me. I was like, hey, Jorge, what's up? How you doing? I was like, oh, shit, it's you, Stutter Boy. What's up? How you doing, man?
Stutter
I was like,
Boy.
I'm good. Yeah, so.
What?
Just like that.
How does he know you stutter?
I called him out.
Yeah.
Post-fight interview.
Oh, did you?
I called him out on that.
I'm gonna have to look this up.
But I think he found out because doing the weigh-ins, we have to like do all this like pre-recordings so they can present it for the fight.
Oh, okay.
Like they actually question like, what's your name, what team you're from, what gym you train out of, and what do you know about your opponent. So I'm pretty sure while I was recording that, I had a few hiccups here and there, and I'm pretty sure they probably told him, and then he came in confidently. Sup, Stutter Boy?
Yeah.
Like
didn't
confident.
even second guess that he just said that.
Yeah.
Bro. And I'm heated, bro. I'm heated. I'm like, I don't even want to, like, I'm heated at this
already.
point.
Oh, yeah.
Like, bro, like, that's not cool at all. And I like Masvidal, you know? But I'm like, bro, that's how you're going to do things? He's about to fight. Or he's about to go out and fight. And the one thing that you have to say to this man who's going to step in the cage, who you should have respect for because you've been doing this your whole life, you know what I'm saying? You came from nothing. You're going to call him Stutter Boy? That's how you're going to show him respect? I was heated. But I was like, I was really, really taken back by the way that he handled himself in the situation. He just smiled about it, kept going, kept his mentality right, went out, fought, and won his fight, right? Fought his fight and won his fight, you know?
Yeah, that's like my childhood. It's like every time I would get picked on, bullied, it's usually my friends who are more mad than me just because it's like I know how to take this stuff because it's happened so many times. Right. So I knew Marcus was mad. So pretty much I was just like, because they had brought me in to lose. Because I was fighting the teammate of Ilya Taporia that's going to be fighting.
Oh, yeah, Ilya Taporia, yep.
He was a 4-0 prospect from Spain.
Brown belt.
Yeah, brown belt in jiu-jitsu, so yeah.
And you beat him.
Yeah, and I beat him. I could have finished him.
Yeah.
I still want that one back.
Really?
I still want that one back.
Yeah. That's when you got. I mean, you still won. So what do you mean?
I won.
But what do you mean? You want to take that one back? What do you mean?
But with the guillotines I've had, like I had on him, he should have been gone.
Yeah, that's just, he's really, he doesn't let go of guillotines, bro.
I got you.
And he threw about 10 guillotines the whole bro, craziness. But he threw about 10 guillotines on him.
So now John Crouch tells me now I got 3 guillotines per fight.
Make sure you make them count. Yeah, because once he gets hold of that thing, he will not let go. Whether you're going to sleep or not, you're going to be stuck there. He found a good way to do that. But no, it was good. He came, he showed up, he won his fight. You know what I'm saying? After everything, after taking it short notice against a tough guy, after having to fly out to Georgia and everything not being necessarily perfect. It was good,
Yeah, and honestly, I thank him for that opportunity. Just like I said, everything to me is an opportunity. Because he could have taken the fight and still could have won.
Right.
But he was making a smarter, intelligent decision for his career. So he decided that he doesn't need this now.
Yeah.
He'll get this eventually.
Sure.
And look at it. It's played out.
Oh yeah.
So
100%.
he gave me an opportunity, and I think that opportunity was like the start of what you want to call the hype now. That kind of put me on the map a little by little.
That's good.
So I'm real grateful for that, because if it was anybody else, they probably would have been like, I'm fine.
I got you.
I'll take it.
So where you at right now? What's next? What's coming up in your career? How is your career going? Are we?
Well, the one thing that has changed from me when I used to train in Oregon and to me training at the lab now is I don't fight when I want to fight. Because when I was in Oregon, I was like the Floyd Mayweather of my own career. So I was taking fights I wasn't smart. So here, like, I'm trusting the process.
Good.
I'm just training.
Nice.
I'm just trying to get better. I'm asking questions to all the veterans that's been in the game for too long. Because I started at 24. My whole amateur career, I didn't learn nothing. I've legitimately learned everything I know now from the last 3 years I've came to the lab. Because everything else was just athletic abilities.
Yeah.
And
Scrappy.
I knew I had athletic abilities, but I never had like structure or consistency or just the accountability to be at practice every day. But I went to practice like 2 times a month over there in Oregon, and I was still fighting. I was tough, but at this point, you get to a point where you can't just be tough. Like, you gotta be skilled too. So, yeah, I feel like at this point right now, with the way my career is projecting, I might fight one more time for Fury, but I'm really asking them for like a belt fight or a Tuesday night contender show. Like, I really want, like I'll take anyone. I'm not in a hurry. I know I'm gonna eventually get there. It's just, I'm just being patient with the process. I'm not in a hurry. So
right.
if it comes, it comes.
Love
Just
it.
enjoying it.
Yeah, I love the part getting better, right? Because that's the biggest difference, right? And that was the difference between me working too, right? When I was working, I came in just to make practice.
Yeah,
babe.
yeah.
Oh man, I made practice cool. Or at least I made practice, opposed to getting better physically, mentally, skillfully. Like coming in the mornings, doing 3-hour sessions in the mornings, jiu-jitsu, strength and conditioning, striking, you know, maybe doing wrestling, and then hitting afternoon practices. Like, that's like night and day, and it changes. And not like, it's one thing to be physical. You can be a physical specimen. You can be an athletic person, and that will get you decent, especially against guys who are not athletic, right? But then you start getting these guys who are athletes and they're good, right?
And they're good.
And it's like, the danger changes, right?
That's getting scary.
And it's like, oh, what happens when we get to the 3rd round? You know what I'm saying? It's like when you're not going to knock everybody out. You know what I'm saying? Are you going to be tenacious at that point and have skill set, conditioning, everything else that you can bring out of the bag, you know? And then rely on those things because you've put yourself in those positions. Opposed to like, oh, no, I'm pretty good. We'll see what happens when we get in there. And then getting there, and the thing that you never thought was going to happen is what happens, and now you're in this position.
Yeah, exactly.
You know?
Yeah, and I feel like the reason I'm also very patient with my career is I'm not just trying to make the UFC. Like, I want to go to the UFC and get exposed. I want to go to the UFC and make an impact. So I want to stay there. So I want to make sure everything is right before I go. If the opportunity is there, I'll take it, and I'll capitalize on them too. But yeah, it's just being patient and trusting the process.
Yeah.
Well, all the guys say it all the time. It's one thing to make it to the UFC. It's a great achievement, and that's why I don't take it for granted, right? But being around the people that I've been around, it's like the saying is one thing to make it. There's another thing to stay.
That's facts.
It's another thing to stay in the UFC and be in the UFC as a staple in the UFC for years to come. I want to finish my career in the UFC. I'm in the UFC now. I don't want to go into any other promotion until I'm done with the UFC, unless I'm withered and old. Now I'm like, oh, BKFC wants me to get $1 million fight outside the UFC. I'm coming back for the one fight in the, against some other crazy, I want to be in the UFC until it's all said and done. I want to hang my gloves up in the UFC. And the way that we do that is by getting better, trusting the process, and not just going to fight everybody. It's good to be a fighter, and you got to have that in you where you're willing to fight everybody. So line them up. All right, I'll fight anybody, but it's also a business and this is our livelihood that we're talking about. We need to make good decisions, smart decisions, and make sure that we're ready to stand up on all 10 when it comes time. Right?
Yep, you gotta stay 10 toes.
You guys are impressive, man. This
facts.
is amazing. I love hearing the background in this. Are like digging up this far into what is in your core, what that fire is burning, where it's burning from, and what's fueling the fire. And I can see it. And it's more than just, like you said, it's more than just the mat. It's more than just the gloves. It's something deeper. And I feel like, that's the marking of a true champion,
100%.
A true warrior. And humbled to be next to you guys.
So we're humbled
thank
as well.
you for that, man. I'm like, what are you guys saying next? Yeah,
That's how I feel.
Beautiful, man. So
That's how I feel every time I'm in the gym, because all these guys are so high level, and I look up to them. Like I want to get there. So, like Marcus was a perfect example, right? He works a bunch of hours and then gets the opportunity. He takes advantage of the opportunity, capitalize on it. He's in the UFC. And then I go to I actually went to the Apex to watch Jared Cannonier fight. And while I was in that building, bro, it's like the energy is just...
I could imagine.
Like, it just hit me. I was like, bro, I need to do more. Like, I was just like, I need to do more. Because it felt so personal. Like, that's how I felt. I felt like it felt personal because there was the fighters, and then there was like only 100 people or 200 people. And then you go to the VIP area, and it's like all you can eat food. And I was like, bro, I gotta make it. I went back to the hotel. Bro, I went back to the hotel at 2 a.m. I put on my shoes and I went out for a run.
I saw that
I
too.
was like, bro, I was like, I want to be here now. Like, I want to be here even more. I mean, at first it was like, I want to make the UFC, but now it's like, I gotta make the UFC. Like, I could get used to this lifestyle.
Oh yeah.
and we talked about it too, and I love that because he's like wants to work hard. But I even told him, I was like, bro, like he was talking about, trust the process. You don't have to overwork anything. He's doing it, right? He's doing it. Show up in the morning, do your runs twice. You know what I'm saying? Like, just trust the process and do what you're supposed to be doing, because that the hardest part is to do what you're supposed to do for a while, get burned out, and then have to stop and then redo it all again.
Redo it.
Opposed, like Mario Bautista is one of the perfect examples for this. It's just consistency. That's right, inside and outside of camp. Now we turn it up and turn it down at certain points, right? But it's like he's not going crazy. He's not like, oh, I gotta do 20 workouts this week, because then next week he's gonna do 5, right?
Yeah.
He's doing 10, 12 workouts this week. Next week he's gonna do 10, 12 workouts
this week.
He's gonna show up every single time for each one of those workouts. And if you're that diligent in what you're doing, everything else, you already have all those.
It's gonna fall into place for you.
It's gonna fall into place. You know what I'm saying? And just keep that type of attitude, and which you already have it. You know what I'm saying? It's a beautiful thing to watch. It's a beautiful thing to watch you get after it. On the opposite side, I was also telling him, hey man, when you do become the fighter in the UFC, you don't get any of the VIP food.
He was telling me that. I was like, because I came into this one as a fan.
You can't eat it though,
bro. It was crazy too, because man, they took me on like a little tour. They introduced me to all these cool people, like freaking Herb Dean and all that stuff, and then they take me to the VIP area. There was like 5 TVs on the wall, tables, food all over, and then I was eating, and we were talking to some people who were like, yeah, I think Marvin Victoria is gonna win. And then we would tell them, well, you know, this is Jared Cannonier's brother. And then he shut his mouth real quick. Then as we were taking off, I ran into Cody Gabbard. Yeah. And we said, what's up? But in my head, I was like, nah, you're the ops right now. You're the ops right now.
Because Mario's fighting him in August.
Yeah, because Mario's... Yeah, it's a cool experience, though. Like it was an experience that I was like, I want it even more now. I want it even more.
Minus the food, because they get us out of there. They get us out of there right away. We get in the. We get there. We show up. We do our thing for the fight, and then after the fight, they pay us. We do whatever media that we need to do, and then they get us on a. Well, honestly, it's like a chauffeur. They get us a chauffeur, and we're back at the hotel before you know it. I was watching the fight behind me at the hotel, basically.
Well, my question for you is, well, how did you feel actually being in that UFC cage for that first time? Because I know you cornered Kyler a bunch of time on the outside, but how did it feel to be right there against my former teammate?
Yeah, I guess we didn't put the.
Man, he was. Huh? I didn't know that.
Put that there too.
Hey.
Which I didn't know this hurt you and Jenna. I didn't know this until I should have assumed it because they're both from the same area.
Yeah.
But they're they knew him pretty well, and then Eric too, right? Eric knows him pretty well. But I didn't know any of this stuff, you know. But in real retrospect, man, it felt just right, right? Like it felt like I was right where I was supposed to be. It felt like this is where I was supposed, you know, like the whole time. Like it felt more right than any other organization I've ever fought for, which is crazy because it was like the highest moment of my life, you know. And I still attribute everything else behind it, though. It was the fact that it was a process, bro. I was trusting the process. I was grinding every single day. I was morning practice, night practice, supplements, everything that needed to be where it needed to be was where it needed to be. I was working on the podcast. I was working on the cooking show. All these things that I was working on and putting my faith in. Man. And there was no road. I didn't see anything. You know, I don't really see it. I still don't really know, right? This is all things that I'm putting money and effort and time and all these things into without necessarily getting a residual. But I feel as though, like, you know, you put your chips where they're supposed to go and everything else you can be proud of at the end of it, right? Because I was happy to get the win against against
Journey
Newson. Yeah. But had I even lost that fight, you know, I was proud of everything I did to lead up to it. I still did all that. I still worked my ass off for 4 months without a fight, you know, without a fight in sight. I still was on weight for 4 months without a fight in sight. I still was, you know,
crazy.
All these things.
You know, that's hard for Marcus too.
Crazy.
And you could take it. You could take whatever you want away from me, right? But you can't take that from me.
You can't take that. Mm-hmm. That 15. It wasn't even 15 minutes. It was like 10 minutes or less.
7 minutes.
7 minutes. I was like, it wasn't even 15 minutes.
But that was a beautiful thing, man. I really feel like it was where I was supposed to be and where I am supposed to be. And you know, I'm just gonna keep, you know, trust the process, trust in God, trust in what plan He has for me, and you know, be thankful for everything, for it all, the goods, the bads, the ups, the downs, the sideways, every bit of it. You know, thankful for all you guys, thankful for Brett, thankful for everything. You know what I'm saying? So that's just the mentality that, you know, I hold on to.
Yeah, you're gonna be just fine in the UFC. I promise you, man.
I'm sure that we're gonna be.
He's coming. I guarantee it. Watch, he's gonna get a shot too, and he'll be ready for it. So, and we'll be excited to watch him do his thing. So,
yeah, I'm excited.
I can feel it too. I can feel it from the side of the table. We're gonna be hearing your name, seeing your face quite a bit. So, I mean,
he is cornering me too.
He is. This next one in August.
Yes, sir.
So he's coming to corner me for that one.
Yeah, that's good. I mean, do you want to tell the people where they can find you, how they can find you, my man?
Yeah, you can follow me on Instagram at Reborn King 135. Reborn King 135.
And then you can find me on Instagram, Maniac_McGhee. Or you can find me on Twitter, Maniac McGhee 07, or just type in Maniac McGhee. There's not that many of us out there. There's a book, and there's me.
And I'm at Brett Anthony M, and everything you can find with Elevated Taproom here in Phoenix. And as I said before, you're going to see these two faces quite a bit. So, pleasure being.
Heck yeah. And then we already did the free high fives. Let's go again.
Let's go. Yeah, that was fun.
Heck yeah, guys. Good stuff.